Hey, this is Sandra from CandidaDietPlan.com, where I encourage you to follow a sugar-free diet to overcome your health issues. What I would love to do today is to go through 10 of the most frequently asked questions that I get asked from people all over the world about Candida and how to start the Candida diet. So let's get right stuck in. Question number 1, what is Candida? How do you get it? Candida is caused by yeast imbalance. Everyone's got yeast in their system without them realizing. It plays a big role in the digestion, so you've always got it in your gut. And if this microbial balance is out of kilter, which happens when you've been taking antibiotics, steroids, birth control pill, hormone therapy, if you've gone through a period of stress and had maybe chronic illnesses to deal with, then this microbial balance gets out of kilter and your immune system is low, which then can cause other health issues, or you can develop food sensitivities, which is often the case. So, or in my case, when it's undetected for a long time, it can become systemic. So it can go from your gut into other areas of your body and cause havoc there. Like for me, it was in the sinuses. I had a lot of trouble with constant infections. I always felt like I've got a cold, or I had allergies, dust mite allergies, and hay fever all the time. And no doctor could help me. I couldn't for the life of me figure out what was wrong with me, and all the time I had this yeast imbalance. And other people, they just notice that they've got thrush or yeast infections and bladder infections. That's how they think they might have Candida. So if you're unsure, I've got a checklist on my blog, which is free. It's just like a questions and answers thing. You go through whether you've got those symptoms. That gives you quite a clear indication. Typical symptoms are also craving of sweets. You want bread. You just want to eat something all the time, and you feel docile after a meal. That's quite a giveaway as well. It zaps into your energy. And but you can do a lot to control all of that, get it back down to a normal level and feel fully well again. This brings us to question number 2, what is the Candida diet? So in the Candida diet, you eliminate everything that could potentially feed the yeast, which is sugars and anything that could cause an allergic response. So you might have developed a sensitivity to wheat, to gluten, dairy, to all sorts of things. So with the Candida diet, you're trying not to consume all those foods that could cause you any reaction that your body would have to deal with. And so the main focus is to detoxify and to cleanse and to strengthen your immune system. And that's why the diet is usually broken down into 3 stages. So you've got the first stage, which is optional, but I'd really recommend you give it a shot. It's like a short fast where you consume only liquid foods of green juices and healing broths, detoxifying teas. And that gives your body the chance to focus on healing, because you have no idea how much energy the body actually spends on digesting foods. So by consuming only liquid foods, you give your immune system a head start, and then you go into stage 2, which is mostly a paleo-based diet. So you can have vegetables and meat, and in general you can't consume any carbs. So all the breads and cereals and cakes are off the menu, but since it's a gradual process, you can really quite nicely wean yourself off certain foods. It doesn't have to be as harsh as it sounds now, and normally you just do that for a few weeks, so that makes it more manageable. But a lot of people who've been suffering from systemic Candida, like what I had, have to follow the diet for a lot longer. But if you follow the diet quite strict and you take the right medication and the right, I would suggest you take natural remedies actually, and then you can have that under control fairly quickly, between 6 weeks to say 3 months. But most people, because they don't follow this systematic approach, they have to follow the diet for a long time, and they get very frustrated because they see results and then they eat something naughty, something with sugar, and then they fall off the metaphorical diet ladder and then beat themselves up and then have more symptoms again, and it's like a yo-yo effect. So the idea is to do this properly, to be really enter it prepared and just to get it over with once and for all. So, which brings us to question number 3. How long will it take you to recover? This really depends on how long you've had it in the first place. How many symptoms have you got? Are there any secondary infections? Do you have chronic issues? Do you have constipation, IBS, any inflammation in your body which would hold up your recovery? And then the idea is to bring those down first, so then the Candida treatment can take effect much better. So, but generally, to give you a ballpark figure, it takes you a month for every year you've had it. So if you've had it for 12 years, that would mean that you might have to follow some type of Candida diet for a whole year. That doesn't mean you have to, it takes you that amount of time to feel fully well again. And you'd feel amazingly different after just a few weeks on the diet. You regain your energy, you just be a different person. But it might take you 12 whole months until you have like what's called reached optimum health. So very few people have that anyway. But to have your immune system so solidified that you don't get a relapse, it does take you some months. So, question number 4. I can't afford organic foods and expensive supplements. Can I still follow the diet? Now, I really feel for you, because I've been in the same situation, and it can be quite daunting. You see all those supplements advertised everywhere and you feel like, oh my god, how am I going to afford this, especially if I have to do it for months. But the way I look at it is you just start gradually. The key thing is just to change what you're eating, so to focus on organic foods that are nourishing, that are really healing for you, because for instance, meat that is not organic is pumped full of antibiotics and full of stress hormones. The poor animals, they don't get treated well, and that's all kind of, you take that into your own body. And so the idea is to clean up your diet and to consume only nourishing foods. And so it's better to eat little but good food than to buy lots of fast food rubbish. And therefore you can save by literally cutting out all fast food and condiments of that kind, and also getting a few deals from the farmers market. If you play it smartly, you can bulk buy things, and you can for instance buy a roast chicken and cook several meals from that, rather than buying little bits of chicken and then not have enough for the next week. I'd recommend you anyway to freeze a lot of food, to prepare something like with the roast chicken. It's a great idea to chop some pieces up and freeze them in small portions, so you can quickly add them to soups and stews that are more filling. Which brings us to question number 5. My cravings are overpowering. What can I do? That's quite a typical problem, because you'd be so ravenous if you're used to comfort eat and always give in to those moments of where you just think, oh, I'll have to have something, I'll just eat a muffin or crisps or whatever it is. It takes you some doing to unravel those unhealthy habits, because that's what it is. You have to train your body to crave the right foods. And it's not as hard as it sounds, because you can find a few healthy snacks that are filling, and you can have those and prepare those in advance. So you're not in that position where you're so ravenous that you can't help yourself but to eat naughty things. So good things, for instance, are spicy chickpeas. It's just like a few chickpeas, or you call them garbanzo beans, I think, and you just heat them up with a little bit of olive oil and some spices and salt, pepper, and then you snack on them. It tastes really nice, and doesn't feed the yeast, and so quick to make that you can just whip it up. Or you can make coconut pancakes. That's also a really good food that's safe to eat and filling, and a novel thing for you, but just try it out. And We have question number 6. I need my coffee in the morning. What can I have instead? Yeah, I feel for you. That is a typical one as well. People are used to getting their coffee fix in the morning and can't function without that caffeine kick. But caffeine actually makes your body push more sugar from your tissues and that's stored in your body into the bloodstream, make it available so you're charged, so you can act. And that obviously can feed the yeast in your system, which is a real nuisance. And also a lot of coffees contain other objects that have just been accidentally put in there in the processing factories, which can cause you some sensitive reactions. So I recommend you stick with green teas, herbal teas, and perhaps a coffee substitute like chicory coffee. Initially you could add a little bit of chicory coffee to your regular coffee, and that way slowly wean yourself off the regular coffee until you can just drink herbal coffees and teas, and that would help your body detoxify. For instance, dandelion coffee and tea are really beneficial because they help your liver expel all the toxins that are broken down in your body when Candida gets killed. Right, question number 9. I'm thin and I can't afford to lose more weight. What can I do? This is also a typical complaint because once you go through the Candida diet, you actually do lose a lot of weight because you don't consume all those fattening comfort foods that you used to. So what you can do is you can either add protein powder to smoothies in your foods to prevent you from burning up muscle, which your body would resort to straight away to preserve you. So what you do is also you add more fat to your diet. So you use healthy fats like olive oil, coconut oil, and flax oil. I'm a great fan of flax oil, which also helps you regulate your hormones, and it's very beneficial. So I'd encourage you to eat more foods with lots of butter even. Be a bit more careful with that, but you can have lots of butter after a few weeks on the diet. Just initially I'd more stick to more oil-based fats, and that way you quickly regain your weight, and you can eat pancakes after a few weeks, which I've found really helpful in snacking and getting quick energy. So don't worry, you'll be fine. And final question, question number 10, can I eat fruit? Unfortunately not, because fruit does contain sugar, and any type of sugar feeds the yeast. So when you see diets that promote that you can have fruit, be a bit cautious, I'd say, because unless you really do almost like a water fast, and where you just come out of it and you only eat select fruit, which gets digested quickly, and by that time you've already lowered the yeast imbalance in your body, then your body might be able to take it. But in most systemic cases, your body is very, very sensitive to any type of sugar. So it's best to leave any sugar out, so not have any fruit. So after a few months on the diet, you can slowly eat small bits of fruit, like for instance you could add bits of frozen fruit to smoothies, which is delicious and doesn't give you this quick burst of sugar which you'd get from just eating raw fruit straight away. And that's how I slowly, gradually weaned myself off the diet into a more normal diet pattern again, a healthier diet. But you have to be careful, because what happened to me was that I then extended it because it agreed with me really well. And then I also had the odd ice cream and pudding, and I added coconut sugar and dates, and then I had a relapse. It's very hard once you eat a little bit of fruit then to draw the line and say I'm not eating anything else, because you feel well, and that's misleading. So your immune system won't be strong enough to straight away allow you to have a normal diet again. But by that time your taste buds will have changed and you won't miss the foods that you're craving now. Honestly, it's so different. You'll feel much better and you won't want to go back to your old eating habits. But should you so wish to, eventually you'll be able to do that once you've boosted your immune system with probiotics and you're just in a different position then. But this is it for now. We've gone through the questions, and if you like this type of video, click like, subscribe to my YouTube channel that you get notified of the next videos, and come to my blog and say hi in the comments, candidadietplan.com. This is Sandra, and I wish you well and be well. Take care.